I said, well, you guys are trespassing. And they said, no, as long as we walk up the center of the creek and camp on the island in the center, we're legal. Well, they were standing on our
River, I think, is owned by the state. I'm not sure of that, but I'd have to look it up. It might pass your property. I think they might be right. I think that there's something about a running river where the state actually owns, like the river or the river bed or something.
The waters of Ohio's public waterways, streams, and rivers belong to the state of Ohio.
That's what I thought.
However, the land beneath the water belongs to the landowners on either side of the stream, whether owned publicly or privately.
Okay, so
the island on the middle would be the land. I would think it would be owned by the owner of who owns land on each side of the river or the stream.
Right, but they could take their canoe down because that's
right. Yeah, they could go.
Well,
that's not trespassing.
It's shallow. It's only 3 inches deep, and it's called the Little Beaver Creek. It's not.
I know where Little, you know why I know where Little Beaver Creek is? Because they have bridle trails there.
Have what?
Oh, really?
Have what?
Bridle trails.
That's where you get married, right?
No, horses. They have horse trails there, right?
Not where I live. I live in the poor area, Goshen Township.
Okay.
Horse trails.
Well, Beaver. So when I was a young lawyer,
Little Beaver Creek.
Okay, I know what you're talking. When I was a young lawyer, I'm talking 25 years old, I thought I'd get into horse riding. So I bought a horse.
Oh, there's a great. What could? Oh, really?
And you travel down Route 7 into Columbiana County, Beaver Creek State Park. That's what I'm getting confused with. Beaver Creek State Park is owned by the state of Ohio, and it has horse trails on it.
Nice.
And then there's a piece of land that you can get a permit on. So there's 30,000 acres of land you can ride your horses on.
Cool.
But I got that confused with what you said. So he's walking down the river now, and there's an island in the middle of the river.
Technically, if he's walking on the land under the river, that's trespassing. If he's floating on the river, then that might not be. Based on what I just read.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Okay, let's go to this. Let's go to my AI.
Well, Mark, what if there are islands in the stream? That is what we are.
What?
Well, Kenny Rogers and Dolly Parton might have a comment on that.
You're right. You're right, Ron. It is a stream. It's way up by Salem where the Little Beaver Creek starts. So it's rather small. However, going through my farm, it kind of widens out where it's nicer, you know. But
so these trespassers say they can walk down the stream and they're not trespassing, but if they get out either side, they would be trespassing on your land.
Yeah,
that's what I think. That's what your attorney said.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. You
but
know.
if somebody's drinking a 6-pack, they think you don't want to confront anybody or want to have a federal case out of it. I thought I would call and check it out.
So here's what I would do.
Well, what does AI say?
Here's what I would do, caller. I would go to the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. Okay? And you'll find everything you need to know, okay, about what you're just asking about. Because you do have riparian rights. But it only extends out so far. Okay? And depending on the area and the type of river and everything else, so let me see what I could find of that, and we'll take the next call, and when I find it, I'll just say it. All right.
Okay. Well, thank you for your help. Appreciate it.
Before I take the next call, I need you to clarify something for me. When you were a young lawyer, you bought a horse?
Yes.
You bought a horse. You thought you would take up horse riding. Did I hear that correct?
I did for a couple of years. I owned an Appaloosa or an Appalachia or whatever. I had great tack gear. And one of my favorite Christmases ever was I woke up. It had just snowed. It was early in the morning, still dark out. By the time I got to my stable, saddled up my horse, and I did a 3-hour ride. Christmas morning, fresh snow.
Wow.
Me and my horse.
That sounds pretty nice.
And I loved it. But then I started having kids. And when you have a horse, you need to ride them.
Yes.
You need to exercise them. And once I started having kids, it was tough to ride the horse, and I got rid of it.
What'd you do? Shoot it?
No, I sold it.
All right. Now, just bear with me for a second. I'm going to take a shot at this, Mark, and then I want you to take a shot. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to go with Wildfire because of the song. I think Dave called his horse Wildfire. What do you think, Mark?
Wow. Ooh.
No, her name was Ruby.
Ah, okay. Dion, the old Dion song. He was more influenced.
No. Ruby, don't take your love to town.
Oh, that's Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers.
Yeah. Okay. Good musical references. Wildfire.
I mean,
that's a throwback.
That's Michael Murphy.
Yes, it is.
On a horse named Wildfire.
Well, you just have all these references right at your fingertips, don't you? You are I'm just trying to encyclopedia. You must be from the University of Musical Perversity because you know everything. Dropping knowledge left
you know
and
what?
right.
I'm just trying. This is something I never knew about Beatrice. And I think I know just about everything about Beatrice.
Right.
I had never known that for years then he had a horse and he would go riding on a horse.
Yeah.
I think it was a horse with no name, personally. America.
I went on really, that's a great one. That's a good one.
There you go.
How long, Dave? 2-3 years?
Yeah.
Do you miss it?
See, I got married. No. I had the horse
No.
until I think the year before I got married, because then it was the wedding and Pam, and I had to spend time with her, and I wasn't going to buy her a horse. And,
so went the horse stream.
If I get a chance to get on a horse and ride it, I love it. I'd love to take a trip to Montana and do one of those camping things.
Yeah.
Also on my bucket list, Ron, is to do the Great Loop.
The Dude Ranch.
To do the Great Loop.
What's the Great Loop?
You haven't heard of that?
No.
Okay.
No.
So you start at Lake Erie.
Okay.
You go west.
Okay.
You get into
on a horse?
No, in a boat. You get into the Detroit River, which dumps you into Lake St. Clair. Okay.
Yeah.
Then you take the Lake St. Clair River to Lake Huron. You take Lake Huron all the way up.
Canada, right?
No, to the Straits of Mackinac, which turns into Lake Michigan.
Okay.
You take Lake Michigan all the way down to Chicago. You get into the Chicago River. You take the Chicago River, and there's a couple different routes. You ride part of the Ohio River. You eventually get into the Mississippi River. It dumps you into the Gulf of America and Mexico. And then you ride down. You go down around the peninsula of Florida. Then you come back up on the intercoastal, up through past the Statue of Liberty in the Hudson River. You get into the Erie Canal, which dumps you into Lake Oswego, which eventually dumps you into Lake Erie, and you come back.
That's got to take a summer to accomplish that.
If you're moving fast, it's a 5 or 6 month. But imagine all the scenic things you can see.
Oh, it'd be awesome.
Go right down the middle of the country and then right up the East Coast.
Actually, not that. That's on my bucket list now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I want to.
You got to get a special kind of boat to do it with.
Yeah.
Because you want a boat.
What? Your boat isn't special enough?
No, because my boat's basically it's for cruising short trips.
Right.
If you're going to go on a long trip, you either got to get a sailboat, and I'm not sailing.
Or yours might be like the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald.
No, you get what's called a trawler.
Okay,
and they go about 10 knots. That's about 12 miles an hour. Because if you're not going anywhere fast on water, and the shortest distance between two lines, shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. So when you're on water, you don't have streets or stop signs. So if you're going 12 miles an hour and you travel, 10 hours a day, that's 120 miles, and it's about Probably a 3,000 or 4,000 mile trip, and just do the math.
Wow.
And then you could stop.
This is on your bucket list.
It's on my.
This is something you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And then if you're somewhere,
What is it? What is it called? What do you call it?
The Great Loop. It's called the Great Loop. There's two ways you could do it. You could go east on Lake Erie, get into the Lake Erie Canal, and then depending on how tall your boat is, there's two different ways you get out, and you eventually get to the Hudson River, and you go right past the Statue of Liberty. You come out to the Atlantic Ocean, you travel down a little bit, and then you get to the Intercoastal. The Intercoastal runs all the way down, and then there's just a part of it where there's not the Intercoastal. Go out into the ocean, and there's marinas all the way down.
Ron, you and I need to take the Great Loop. We need to do this.
Doesn't that sound like a lot of fun, though,
We need
Ron?
to do this, Ron.
And you could cut through the middle of Florida if you wanted to, provided you're not drafting too deep, and there's enough water in there's a big lake in the middle of Florida. I forget what they call it, and they have canals going on either side, so you can come in from the Gulf of America and Mexico, go across Florida, get to this lake, and then there's another canal that takes you out to the Atlantic Ocean.
Amazing.
What are they? Are you nervous about pirates if you would do it?
I don't think there's any pirates.
I think I would be lost at sea probably by the third day.
Never
be heard from again.
I'm watching Ron. I don't watch TV anymore. All I watch is YouTube. That's all I watch.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people. There's this family. They sold everything. Okay. And they bought a sailboat. And they have sailed everywhere. I'm talking everywhere. Like to Australia, to the Suez Canal, to Egypt, to Africa, to
but you could be dead bad. I mean, the seas could get rough.
Yeah.
There's pirates.
What you learn to do is you learn to know the weather routes. You have weather gear. You're on a sail, and so you're traveling 24 hours a day. Someone sits at the helm, and you're at the wind. And once you get the hang of it, and they go all over. They go to the Bahamas. They go to over to Europe. They travel across the Atlantic Ocean.
Wow.
And if you know how to read the weather reports, sometimes you run in the rough seas, but for the most part, the boats can handle it. But you're not taking a motorboat. You're on a sailboat.
Wow.
Yeah. They have these catamarans.
I don't think I'd want to do that.
Oh, no, I'd love to do that.
We'd get eaten by the Meg.
No, I'd love to do that. There's so many.
On a sailboat?
Oh, my God. Ron, I'm going to tell you something. Do you have YouTube?
Yes.
All right. When you get home tonight, go onto YouTube and put in the Great Loop, and you see how many videos pop up. And you'll be surprised at how much you could see in the Great Loop. I mean, what a way to see the country.
I'm going to check it out.
I never even heard of it before till he mentioned. I learned two things tonight. Attorney Beatrice had a horse when he was young and loved riding it. Who would have thunk that? And the Great Loop. Back with the attorneys after this and more of your calls.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival, presented by Capital One, is
I swear to you, I never knew that he would buy a horse. He had a horse. He'd be out riding it Christmas morning and that kind of stuff when he was in his 20s before he got married. I'm trying to visualize that in my head. I'm just trying to, and he loved it, but he had to give it all up for, dating his wife at the time and getting married and having children.
35 years.
Yeah, he gave up
35 years.
Busting Broncos is what he did. He gave it all
35 years. This November 3rd will be my 40th anniversary of being a lawyer. How about that, Ron? And I can tell you that I love my profession. For me, coming to work isn't work. It's coming to do something I love. Are there days I get aggravated? Yes. Are there days that judges drive me nuts and clients drive me nuts? Yes. But for the most part, it isn't work for me. It's like a devotion. I love what I do. And
why do you like it so much? Explain so we can all understand when you say you love what you do. What is there about it?
Okay, so I'm going to tell you something about myself you're probably not going to believe. Okay.
That you had a horse. I find that hard to believe.
That's even something weirder.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, not weirder. But when I was a young man, and I'm talking a child, my mother's brother was a priest, and he had a big effect on my life. So when I graduated from high school, I was going to go be a priest. And then I said, no, I'm going to go to college. And then when I graduated from college, I said, well, maybe I'm going to go be a priest. And then now I went to law school. And then I said, after law school, I said, well, maybe I'll go to Rome and study canon law. And my dad goes, yeah, you're not doing that. Okay.
Your dad, which was a lawyer, just so everybody knows, your dad.
And so I love the fact that I can help people. It brings me satisfaction. And the tougher the case, the harder it is, the more satisfaction of figuring it out. And after doing something 40 years, what you really get good at is knowing how the fastest way to fix problems and little pitfalls. And let me try to explain it to you this way. Client came in recently and he says, hey, I want to hire you on this case. And I said, okay, it'll cost you $5,000. Okay. And so he paid the $5,000 and we went to court and we walked out of court and he says, I paid you $5,000. I go, yeah. And he goes, well, I want an itemized bill. I said, well, that wasn't our agreement. We had a flat fee agreement. He goes, I still want an itemized bill. I go, you want an itemized bill? I'll give you an itemized bill. You ready? Turning the screw, $1. Knowing which screw to turn, $4,999. You, my friend, have paid for all the mistakes I've made on other people and other people's toil. And when I learned from those other people, that has value.
Certainly.
And you're paying for that value.
Yeah.
Okay.
The best education is when you get your teeth kicked in once. And trust me, I've learned the hard way.
I was just in court the other day.
Yeah.
And I did something. The prosecutor couldn't figure out why I was doing it. I knew why I was doing it because just 4 years ago, I got burnt on that issue. So I'll never do that again. And you're always learning. Yeah. I don't care. That's the best thing about the law, Ron.
That's true.
It's always evolving. It's always changing. Every case is different. And even though I hate jury trials, I love jury trials.
Right.
Like I started jury trial Tuesday. I'm so nervous and I got my staff. I'm just driving them nuts. And, I'm so behind in my emails. Clients call me and I go, sorry, I started jury trial Tuesday and, I'm not answering any calls. I'm not taking any new clients. This client gets 100% of my attention until his trial is over with.
Right.
I can't worry about anything else. But then the black hole came into my life, Brian Kopp.
Oh, okay.
And I was working a case with him and he goes, I need you to stop working on your trial. I go, no. He goes, well, you're going to stop working on your trial. I go, okay. He's like Jedi Master. Okay, I'm going to start working on my trial. What do you need me to do? So I had to not work on my trial today and help Brian on another case.
Have you ever lost a case, a criminal case, where in your mind you were 100% convinced the person that you were representing was totally innocent and was found guilty and went to jail. And has that ever happened?
Nope. I can honestly tell you that in 40 years, okay, now you see here's what people don't understand. I call it a shotgun effect. Like, maybe your client didn't do what they did, but they got BBs in them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Like, I could say that I think have represented what I would consider to be 10 people that were legitimately wrong person, wrongly accused, everything. There weren't even any BBs in them. Like, okay. And I won all of them, or I got them dismissed or whatever. Okay.
Right.
And so, no, that's not happened to me. Now, have I lost cases that I should have won because I didn't think that they connected the dots? Yes. And have I won cases that I should have lost?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember one time I had a murder case and the jury come back and they said, not guilty. And the judge says, do you want to pull the jury? And I go, no, I want to run out of this courtroom right now. Like, run really fast.
Right.
Run. Bye. Okay. I mean, I'm out of here. Okay. You never know what a jury's going to do.
Right.
And that's sort of the thrill of it. You don't know what they're thinking, how they're looking at the evidence, whether you're annoying them or they're liking you. You're trying to read body language. And what I've learned is your worst, the worst assumptions you have about people really haunt you. In other words, you make assumptions about people. And what I've learned from picking juries in 40 years, most of the time, I could tell, like, this guy got to get off the jury.
You mean assumptions or stereotypes?
I don't want to. I don't like to use the word stereotype.
Or like is it like an intuition type thing?
An intuition, okay, and it's usually wrong. It's usually wrong. Now, there are some people that, and the way I go about picking a jury is you want to get people talking freely about themselves, okay? And so I say to the jury, there's no right answer. There's no wrong answer. There's just your answer. It's your answer. I just want you to be completely and brutally honest with me. You're not going to hurt my feelings. That's what the system wants. They want you to give the really honest answer, right? And if you're too embarrassed, then ask the judge and she'll take us or he'll take us in the chambers. So I'm questioning this one guy and he raised it. He goes, Mr. Beatrice? And I go, yeah. He goes, there's something I want to say to you, but I want to say it in chambers. I said, okay. And we all go in the chambers and the judge goes, yeah. And he goes, I hate your guts. He goes, I wouldn't believe you. If you said today was Thursday, I wouldn't believe today was Thursday.
Oh my God.
You know what I did? I looked at him and I said, thank you.
Yeah.
I wasn't insulted at all.
No.
I was, matter of fact.
He did you a favor by being honest.
He did his duty.
He did his job.
He did his job. He took that oath seriously.
Yeah. What
he said was, I can't be fair to you. And that's what you want.
From a juror.
From a juror. You want them to be fair. That's all. I want you to look at the case objectively. It's a citizen's jury. You're being judged by a jury of your peers.
Correct.
And you want them to be fair and impartial. And if they can't, and everyone thinks they can be fair and impartial. Okay. So I never ask people, can you be fair and impartial?
Right.
Because it's too hard for people to say, no, I can't be fair. I like to use the word suitable. Is this a suitable case for you? Is this a case that's suitable for you to sit in judgment on?
And you don't have to bring any preconceived notions.
I don't have to use labeled words like fair and impartial, suitable, like, and then I use the word prejudice right in it. I say, look, people are afraid of the word prejudice. I said, actually, if we didn't have prejudice, it would be a very dangerous place. You can't use the word prejudice in a way that's negative. But you have to be able to discern safety from harm. Like if you're walking down a street and you see two men in a dark alley, you might be prejudiced, and those might be the nicest guys on earth. But you hold your prejudice because you see them.
Right.
It's just a natural sort of evolution.
Well, it might not be prejudice over the guys, but of the environment, the situation.
So what I say to people is this, especially if my client's African American, I say this to them. I never ask someone if they're prejudiced. I never ask them that. Here's how I say it to them. I say, Mr. DeVecchio, you get on a bus. And if my client's African American, I said, and there's two seats open on the bus, one next to me and one next to my client. And you got to walk down the aisle and you got to pick who you're going to sit next to. I don't want you to answer that question, but can you promise me that whatever seat you would pick, you won't let that affect your judgment in this case? And what I'm saying to them is, I think everyone has a little bit of prejudice in them, but can you set that aside and judge this case on the facts and circumstances that are presented from the witness stand? And it gives them the thing to say, yeah, I might have a little bit of prejudice, but I think I could set it aside and just base it on the facts. And that's what you want. And so picking a jury, it has become an art form for me. I love doing that. And I love presenting cases because I wanted to be an actor and my dad wouldn't let me. And so now there's 12 people stuck with me. So that's that.
Wanted to be an actor. He wouldn't let you do that. And he also, what did he say earlier, Mark? His dad wouldn't let him go out and
study canon law
be a priest. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He didn't want them to do that. Okay. But yet he had a horse.
I did have a horse.
40 years of practicing law and love it to this day.
To this day, I love it. But I have young lawyers coming up, and I've decided we have Daniel Leslie, who is my main paralegal, Julie Leslie. Julie Leslie is Brian Kopp's sister. Her son is going to be graduating soon. And then we have another young gentleman named Connor Hilton. And I'm going to stick around long enough to mentor them a little bit. And then I'm going to ride off into the, I'm never going to quit.
Right.
But I'm not going to keep, you see me every day.
Yeah,
I can't keep up this pace.
Right. No.
I forget that.
Yeah.
I just can't keep it up.
And here's a tough question for you. Who do you, when you look around at local attorneys and just judges in general, and let's not, just in general, who over the years of 40 years do you think was a great judge locally? I mean, just give me one name, a great judge. And who do you think outside of Attorney Don Hanna was a great attorney locally?
And knowing how to do a case. We've had a lot of great judges. And I don't want to call anyone specifically out, but honestly, our common pleas bench in Mahoney County right now, I think it's one of it's one of the strongest benches we've had.
Absolutely.
I mean, I really, really do. I have the judges are all good. I have a couple of judges that I just love to appear in front of just because I just like them, you know?
Yeah.
And then I have some judges that I like to tease with, like Judge Kirschbaum. He's a little afraid of me.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I tell him what to do. But each judge has their strength and their weakness. But I got to really compliment the bench in Mahoney County. I have the bench down in Columbiana County and the bench in Trumbull County, but I appear most in front of the bench in Mahoney County. And I have to say, we're really fortunate. And what people don't understand in this county is how beautiful our courthouse is.
Breathtaking.
People do not. I'm up in Cleveland Federal Court, and I'm in a federal court, and I'm going, our courthouse is a lot better looking than this courtroom, and they're cavernous.
I love to walk in with someone for the first time that has never seen the inside of the courthouse because
it's beautiful. When I bring lawyers in from out of town, I go, you got to come see our courthouse.
Yeah.
And they walk in, and I mean, people that have never seen our courthouse, the Common Pleas Court, you should at some point go down there and look in those courtrooms.
I agree. If they haven't seen it, go.
It is art. It is architectural.
Yes.
And because the city sort of never outgrew that courthouse has maintained its beauty. And I go all over the state.
Right.
I can't think of another courthouse, because if you go to Cleveland, they outgrew their courthouse, and you go into their courtrooms, it's got a 70s motif.
Yes.
Burnt orange carpet,
and the wood,
burnt orange furniture,
the woodwork on the walls,
the woodwork, plywood on the walls.
Right.
I mean, the judges' chambers are nice because it overlooks Lake Erie, but their courtrooms are horrible. Now they have ceremonial courtrooms, but you're not trying cases in there.
Right.
Okay. You go to Cincinnati, same thing. Columbus, same thing. Akron, sort of, but I'll tell you, our courthouse, I think, is one of the best, well-maintained, and most beautiful courtrooms in Ohio. I can honestly say that. And I've been all over the state. I have a case in Marion County.
Okay.
I have to try the case in the sheriff's conference room because they are redoing the courthouse. I'm not kidding.
Nice.
Okay. How
so
do you
it's not a jury
client
trial?
Yeah, a jury trial in the sheriff's conference room.
Wow.
Okay. That's not going to feel too comfortable.
No.
And I walked into that judge's courtroom. Mark, I'm not kidding you. It was the smallest Common Pleas Court I ever walked in, and I go, I couldn't imagine doing a jury trial in here. They had like one bench for the people, and like everyone was scrunched up, and the jury was on top of one another. I go, my God, you'd sweat just from the body heat.
Yeah.
They're redoing that courthouse, and people in Mahoning County, we are fortunate. Our courthouses are. Walk into Judge Kirschbaum's courtroom. Walk into Judge Durkin's courtroom.
Yeah.
Go up to Judge Maureen Sweeney's courtroom. Go into where Judge Beth Smith's courtroom is.
Yes.
Go into Judge Rusu. Now, not a lot of people get to go into Judge Rusu's courtroom.
True.
It's gorgeous.
Yes.
It's great. And the history of the very first jury trial in Mahoning County at what do they call it? Slippery Rock or Splitting Rock or whatever it is. And then they have the steel mills up there. When they redid the courthouse, Ron, they had the years of when they didn't have air conditioning. The steel mills come in and it put soot all over the paintings, and they had to redo them. And they're absolutely magnificent.
They're works of art. They truly
really are.
Absolutely.
They really are. I mean, I tell people all the time on my social media, on TikTok and on Instagram, you don't know how fortunate you are to have a courthouse like that and to have good judges. We really have, except Judge Kirschbaum. He's a little afraid of me. When I walk in there, he goes, David, please don't be rough on me. I go, Judge, you better treat me right today, or I'm going to give you a little bit of a spanking.
Okay, sure.
Do we have any calls, Ron?
Yeah, we can take some calls quickly. You're on the air with our attorneys tonight. Do you have a question? Go ahead.
Hi. So I have been having an issue with the community I live in. They rent their water from Aqua.
Okay.
And I live in a trailer. And so it's just me and my two boys. So we don't use a lot of water.
Okay.
My neighbors across the street, they pay I want to say $40 a month. Now, I just had a bill maybe a month or two ago, and it was $1,700 for my water.
Well, something's wrong.
And that's what I'm trying to figure out is, because I had got all the leaks replaced. I got both toilets replaced, everything.
What were your bills before the $1,700 bill?
The one before that was $600.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's high. That's
That's
high too.
Yeah.
For a trailer.
I mean, over the year.
For three people.
But you see, she could have leaky pipes. She could have
True.
water coming in, and so over the year, what was your average monthly water bill?
Well, before all this, before we got new management, I was paying, I want to say about maybe $80 a month.
All right. So
now new management's in, I'm still paying over $200.
So I would call Aqua Ohio. I'm sure they have a customer representative and inquire from them. What's going on now, unfortunately, with trailer parks is that the venture capitalists have gone around and they've bought up all of the trailer parks, and they made a business out of it, and they raise rents and they do all this other stuff, and then they flip it off and make money as opposed to individual owners. It's very hard anymore to find individual owners. There's always a conglomerate of trailer park owners, and you're dealing now with bigger corporations, and with bigger corporations, there's of course less service. And not only are they doing that with trailer parks, they're doing it with homes. They're buying homes and they're renting homes, and they've made a business out of it. And that's why housing has become so expensive, as these big corporations are coming in and they're buying everything on the market. Okay. And then they're renting it out and they're making money. And so we got to figure that conundrum out. Okay. Because a single family home should be owned by a single family home, not owned by a big corporation that rents it out to single family dwellings. So,
but to get back to her, so we can take another call. 3 people taking showers and flushing the toilet shouldn't cost $200, let alone $600 or $1,700.
I would call Aqua Ohio. I would go. Now, is your trailer park under new management?
Yeah, I think they bought it like a year ago, and then
is it
everything
part of a bigger,
started raising.
Is it part of a bigger conglomerate? Like, did you look up the name of it, and how many do they own? And I'm sure they have people that you could deal with there. But I would deal with the people at the trailer park, and I would deal with the people at Aqua Ohio.
Do you have an individual water meter for your trailer? Yes or no?
Yes, but I had called Aqua, and they said that they cannot read my water meter itself because they can only see us as a community as a whole.
I'd have to look into that. There might be some.
Some doesn't sound right here.
No, it certainly doesn't sound right. Where do you live? What just area?
Massillon.
Massillon. Okay.
Massillon, Ohio.
So do you live in the city of Massillon?
Yes.
Okay. So many cities have a consumer advocate department, or you might have a councilman for the area you live in. You could call the councilman and say, hey, what's going on? They're saying we can't have individual water meters. Can you help me out with this? This is what your elected officials are for. So find out who your council person is and call them and see if they can't give you some constituent service.
Yeah, something isn't right.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Something's wrong there.
Yeah.
You're on the air with the attorneys. Hello, your question, please.
Hello?
Yeah, what's your question? Moving quickly.
Okay. Yeah, okay. My nephew is leasing a Mustang Mach-E from a local dealership. The lease came from Ford Credit. He took delivery of the car in February, hit a deer in April, and the car has been sitting at the dealership since then. He's still paying his leasing fees and insurance. His allowance for rental car is running out, and they're telling him we can't do anything. We can't get parts. Ford Credit told him they can't help him out. Ford said, we'll take the car back at resale, but you got to get it fixed first. What options does he have?
He can't get it fixed because they can't get him parts.
Right.
Someone's not treating someone fair in that situation. Yeah. I think it's time that you start, squeaking a little bit more, calling Ford Motor Company's customer service. They have a consumer complaint department. I mean, look, your son rents a new car. They can't get parts for it, and the lease is running out. doesn't sound like a you problem.
Well,
It sounds like a Ford
The lease,
Motor
isn't, the lease
problem.
isn't running out. He's at the beginning of his lease, and he's
Yeah, it's
still
a lease
paying
card, not a
monthly
not a
lease
purchase.
fees.
No,
Yeah,
I
while the
understand
car's
that.
inside him.
But Ford is telling him that they can't fix the car because they can't get parts. So his insurance.
And they're also telling him they can't help him out with the lease. He's out of luck.
Okay, but Ford could give you a car to drive. And that's what I would push for. I'd say, okay, guys, I've given you this much time to fix the car. You're not able to get parts. I'm out of a lease. I need a car to drive.
Right.
That's the angle I would go after. Okay.
All right. Good luck to you. Appreciate it. All right. Absolutely fascinating, folks. If you absolutely fascinating.
Ron, I gotta ask your opinion on something.
Yes.
And I don't want to get political, but I gotta ask.
Okay. Got to go quickly.
Do you have a little bit of throw up in your mouth giving a billionaire $600 million to build a stadium for a subpar team? Does that bother you at all? Because it bothers me.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
Right,
Thank you. Thank you, David. The Legal Show brought to you by Beatrice Cop every Thursday at 5.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
Would you